are locking out that front row for their class. They're back on row 8 overall, but what a fantastic performance it's been for them.
Straight out of the box, as Carlton has said so many times, Porsche always does that. This is the Evo version. There you are, you can see the two cars there, big wide noses now. Remember, central radiators, as they had at Le Mans, and those cars, of course, can be run this year, the 2014 cars, in the final race. The regulations allow for that.
Yeah, front wing radiators, that was a bit odd, wasn't it? Slightest little bit of nudge during racing and they were always in trouble. That's been attended to. Nick Tim and the 95 Aston Martin, but that side of the grid, it is a flotilla of Aston Martins reaching both the Pro and Am class. And if you're looking out for Jamie Campbell-Walter and of course our very own Stuart Hall, then they are on the second row of that class. Nicky Tim and teammate in the 95 car saying that they'll be doing everything they can to help Jamie Campbell-Walter and Stuart Hall. And Goethe, who returns to take the championship, something they lead in the Am class by just 4 points.
Yeah, so LMP2, 4 teams, 12 drivers in contention today. GT Pro, 3 teams, 6 drivers. GT Am, 3 teams and 6 drivers again. So everything to play for, Carl.
It's tidy as they come round for the start. It is the blue and white of Toyota heading Trullier and the #1 Audi with our champions already declared. Tom Christensen is starting the race for them. Safety car lights are off, pace car has gone, and we are about to go racing here in Bahrain. And it's always a joy. This is a very wide track, lots of options into a number of the corners here. How will they go? Let's wait and see how that light ball goes and how they react. An absolutely superb start from Nico Lapierre, making no problems at all for himself or indeed his teammates. And in fact, they're locked together as they come in. It's spread wide throughout the field. It's P2 where all the action's happening. And we look back down onto row 6 here, and there's a little bit of contact, and that does not bode well at all. Oh, and look who's losing out here. Oh, big time as well. There it is, Bertrand Baguette. It is championship leading car, the 35 car going backwards. They were on row 6 and they've lost 4 or 5 places already, Mark.
Yeah, that was Antonio Liuzzi in the Lotus who took him out, and Antonio in the thick of things again. Number of other cars having to avoid everything, but luckily for the pole people, the pole Porsches, they were still out front. We are riding at the moment on the 97 Aston, looking back, and look at this. It's very, very vicious, this first lap, but they've got 6 hours to go. Calm down, guys.
Yeah, calm down perhaps, but we know that all important places can be gained at this point if you're brave enough. Alain Milish always says if you're going to go, then go flat out. And that's exactly what he's doing. So 6 hours of racing here, and as you can see, Aston and the Porsche still very much mixing it. I don't think Aston Martin were overly delighted that that Porsche came here with their new cars when the championship is still to be decided. Well, all fares in love and of course in racing, and Toyota it is 1 and 2 as we come through sector 2 with Audi still in very much chasing mode, but it's all about the GTs at the moment and the back of that P2 class.
Yeah, as Dominic Kryhammer just saw had a big sideways moment there in the other Lotus. But yes, it's Bertrand Baguette carving his way through the P2 cars. He's determined. He's got to get back up into the lead battle because, as we said, 4 of those LMP2 teams fighting it out today. This has not helped him at all. But the Aston Martins, the Ferraris, Porsches, they're all fighting for the championship too.
Poor old Bertie Baguette. Bertie Breadstick, as we occasionally call him. Out front, though, Toyota looking comfortable. Now, remember the wise words of Alan McNish, especially on this St Andrews Day, saying that Toyotas clearly were the better runners last year. Maybe it was the heat that just got the better of them. It was a very punishing 40 Celsius on the track. Well, they've moved it to a couple of hours later on, and of course it is also later on in the season by a good couple of months, and so temperatures around about the mid-20s suits just about everybody. I think kind of spring or autumn in the Mediterranean, that kind of thing. Big move here by the Proton Felbermeyer car. They had all kinds of problems. Watch out for Lavra competition in the Corvette incidentally as well. Gearbox trouble for them in qualifying meant that they started absolutely plumb at the back, and they're in 27th place at the moment, so no real change for Fernando Reis, unfortunately. We join pictures live right now just as we see this. That's big unfortunate moment for Dominic Kramer.
Yeah, and he's just taken out our GT Pro leader. That's Richard Leitz. He caught him on the side. A lot of damage to the rear of that Porsche. Here we go again. This Kryhammer runs out of talent. Second time this year he's been involved with a class leader. It was the Sarrazins Peugeot he took out at Sao Paulo. Now he's taken the factory Porsche out, and there's panic in the Porsche pits.
Well, there is. They know they've got some work to do, and that's a real shame, to be honest. New car is severely amended in terms of design. Just picking up a little bit further down, and that's the Delta ADR. The winners from Silverstone. Robbie Kerr's on board, incidentally, a man who did the business here in the F3 Championship. A lot of crossover as well, and Picom Racing and Nico Minasian having a happy time here, as you can see. Fourth in the championship. They won in Spa. Electrical problems though in Shanghai, hoping that they don't rear their ugly head once again.
Yeah, this is the battle for LMP2. Second place, that 49 car, Picom. Nick Minasian, as I say, he's right behind Robbie Kerr, and also ahead of him Greaves Motorsport and G-Drive Racing. John Martin, Bjorn Wertheim, Robbie Kerr, Nick Minasian are top four there. So Picom is really suffering from that early incident when the Lotus of Luzzi spun out. Incidentally, both Lotuses out of the race. They're both parked up around the circuit, and that's in the first 4 laps.
Good news for fans of Jamie Cameron, Walter, Stu Hall, and indeed Kurto, who's back. They are holding station beautifully as it's been going crazy around them. In fact, the Aston Martins have kind of bedded in and mixed with Ferrari, almost held station, I think you might say. But Cameron Walter in charge at the moment in 23rd place. Only 4 points in that championship, let's not forget.
Now, what we're seeing here, this is a replay of the restart. That's the Picom car getting involved with Oak Racing, and those two started that chain reaction. The Lotus of Luzzi then took avoidance, and he took Bertrand Baguette out. So that's what was going on there. General mayhem in the P2 class.
Nightmare stuff. Just looking at the multicoloured car of Oak Racing and Kira Arrows out there as they start to just extricate Dominic Kryhammer's vehicle, I think.
That's Lutz's car, in fact. They're towing off, but Kryhammer's elsewhere on the track, and so you've got 2 Lotuses at the moment being towed around the circuit. And let's go back to the lead battle, and here we are. Lapierre way out front already, fastest lap already, 144. Pole was 142. That will come down as we get into the evening. Just to remind you, 6-hour race. The first 2 hours are going to be in daylight, but the next 4 hours are going to be in dark under the new floodlights.
Very much so. They're testing these floodlights for Formula 1. And it's an entire new system. There is not a new man at all, but very much installed. The good doctor, he's had a wonderful time, hasn't he?
He's in a good place, so's Loic Duval, Alan McNish and Tom Christensen. They've won the championship. They've done all they have to do. They'd love to win again today, of course, but no one can take that title away from them. Just one caveat, all 3 drivers must race that car today if they want to stay equal champions.
Absolutely. You can tell how relaxed they are, though, because whenever you speak to Audi about the race program, they say, oh, we like to think about how we're delivering. Do you know that Audi sold 1,455,123 cars last year? Yeah, but what about the race? Well, 48.8 billion in turnover with a profit of 5.4. I know, but what about the race? Well, we've got the race right now, and it is Toyota that's out front, and it doesn't look like much of a race just for the time being. Then again, do not say that, because Shanghai turned out to be an absolute humdinger in the last couple of hours, did it not, Mark?
It did, yes. The race really woke up as we were just sort of taking another coffee and starting to yawn. Wham! Off it went. By the way, while we were looking at those Audis, those Toyotas, the last time you'll see them in competition, those cars become redundant at 9 o'clock tonight, UK time, 6 o'clock in the evening, Bahrain time, because they will be replaced by new cars next year, and of course Porsche come into the fray with an LMP1 as well.
Absolutely fabulous. No lack of focus in Audi. They just love this, and we love them for loving it. The R18 e-tron is about to be retired, so feast your eyes upon it. I think it is. I've actually got to love it, despite the fact that I never really was that fond of the great big fin. But it seems that it's been absorbed within the design, and now it's de rigueur, and I kind of feel used to it and actually look for it now.
How can you tell me you didn't love Flash Gordon in the old days in the cinema? That's what they are. They're Flash Gordon rockets, aren't they, these Audis? Here we go.
Nice little shimmy as well, just to keep us entertained and focused. Greaves Motorsport, Bjorn Wertheim, incidentally, in the 41 car, just getting a check on them. 31 and 32 are both out. Nightmare for Lotus. We're just looking at Oak Racing at the moment, just getting it a little bit sideways. There is a bit of sand inundation, but nothing serious. I've got to tell you that we are about to take our leave, Mark, and we'll be back a little later on.
Excellent.
So don't forget, you can see the final hour of this at 5 UK. That's 1800 Central European time, and then we'll have the full highlights later on this evening. So in a busy weekend of live action, especially as the winter sports season has got underway, we are going to have to take our leave, unfortunately. This is not looking happy, not a happy place at all for the 24 Racing and Ollie Pla. We'll keep an eye on it for you, shall we? We will be back for the final hour and, of course, highlights later on with myself, Carlton Kirby, and Mark Cole. See you then.